All right. We have $50 from Imperial Ace. I have been motivated to donate. And with that, I have heard it is now the witching hour because we are all ready to go with Bayonetta by Galazrini. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am Galazrini, and with me today I'll be having Enthes, a fellow runner, helping me with commentary. We'll be doing the Bayonetta speedrun to get to show it off today, and I hope you will enjoy this run. So timer will start when we select normal difficulty, which will be in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, welcome everyone to this Bayonetta speedrun with me, Enthes, and Galazrini as our runner. I have more or less ran this game for about 1 year, Gala a little bit longer. And we hope that you all enjoyed this run, and thanks for tuning in. Bayonetta is the protagonist character in black here, and the female in red is named Jeanne. Both of them are Umbra witches equipped with guns in each hand and on their heels. And with demonic powers they can summon demons, perform so-called wicked weaves, and later on in the run shapeshift. In this starting sequence there's just a scripted monologue, so I was thinking I should just put out some info about the game. Bayonetta here is a hack and slash type of game directed by Hideki Kamiya, who also created the Devil May Cry franchise. Released in 2009 in Japan and worldwide in January 2010 for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 console. Developed by Platinum Games and released by Sega. The game itself has been ported to the most consoles, but this version you see here is the PC version. And the reason we use the PC version is because it's the possibility to reduce loading times. And for those who just tuned in, this is not Super Smash Bros, although this scenery is Bayonetta stage in that game. This introduction here gives us a brief background about what we are about to experience, but long story short, this part sets out 500 years ago. And we get to see the most frequent enemies, the angels, and we see some inspired dragon-like enemies in the behind. And speedrunning wise, there's not much to say about this part. It's about 3 minutes long and it's good for warming up your fingers. It takes about 3 minutes and 50 seconds for a guy called Fortitude, as we see in behind over there. He's gonna blast a fireball against us in the end of this.
Yeah, Fortitudo is an enemy that we're going to see a few times throughout the game, so this is the first introduction of him, but yeah, we'll see him a few times throughout the run.
You can quickly distinguish the enemies since they are having halos on their over their heads. The upcoming sentence here, all but one, it could be cut off earlier, meaning he's just saying all, but in this time he said all but one.
Yeah, sometimes with the way it loads, it cuts off the sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just have to wait and see if we get that time safe.
Yeah. Welcome again to the speedrun of Bayonetta. We start off in Vestibule. In this chapter, we start by approaching the angels with some dodges, and we ragdoll them. And we try to bang them into each other for more damage. If you watch in the left upper corner, you see Bayonetta's health bar in green. Underneath, you see some colorful orbs popping. They are Bayo's magic gauge, and when it's full by 8 orbs, you can do a torture attack, which we will see soon. And the in-game currency you saw is halos, which look kind of similar to sonic rings. For movement, we use the front flips. We can do 4 in a row. If you do a 5th, she somersaults and stays still for a little while. And by combining punches and kicks, we can do numerous combos to deal damage. But for this first chapter, we focus on holding the buttons to quickly get rid of the small decorations, and we try to ragdoll the larger angels. In this chapter, one annoying thing can be that Bayonetta can accidentally target the gravestones, which just messes everything up. Seeing this larger angel carrying Enzo away, we go after him. And we're going to do a torture attack on him, just to get rid of him. He can be annoying, he does a lot of damage, he's very swiftly. And with the 4 angels remaining, we build up our magic gauge again, because we're going to have a full magic gauge into the next part. And in this part over here, we're going to learn about the torture attack, which we already did. And we're supposed to do 3 torture attacks here to succeed. And that's why we had full magic gauge coming in here. And then it's just lining up the angels and quickly filling up magic gauge again.
One thing I do here is I hold down my attacks, because that way Bayonetta will shoot more bullets, and those bullets really help fill the magic gauge up first.
And we also jump and do torture attack, because the animation is that we saw, that the strangling is the shortest one. And after every chapter, we are awarded with a award screen, and we are also introduced to something called Angel Attack, which we're not going to do in this one, but after the next chapter, we are going to play Angel Attack. So starting up the chapter 1, we enter Vigrid, based in Europe. And since there are no enemies over here, we can use something called jump punch cancellation. By simply pressing jump and punch at the same time, we see Bayo move a little bit faster, but also consistent. And for rounding this corner, we use the 4 dodges, shoot some bullets, and start the 4 dodges again. We grab on this large keyblade looking key, and we're gonna open up a door over here, completely ignoring the fight that started behind us. And we're gonna see the first skip of the game. Usually you're supposed to interact with the statues there, but with the wall jump and combinations, we can get over this. And it saves us about 20 seconds. So it's fairly new, and shout out to Psychedelist for finding that for us. Continuing on with the jump punch cancellations, this is the final time we're gonna do this, because we are going to go into the store, Rodin's Gates of Hell, and learn a technique. We buy off this air dodge technique, which makes us move faster by jumping and dodging in the air. And as previous, we can just do 4 dodges. Continue with grabbing the bullet over here. We start up this fight over here. And we start off this ragdolling and kicking them into each other. We're doing wicker waves. Bayonetta can take his spear and use it as a stripper pole, doing AoE damage. Taking the larger one, the same spear though, but doing the AoE damage again. So that's something Bayonetta can do. She can retrieve the enemy's weapons. And we torture attack this one because we're gonna use his ball and chain weapon for an upcoming fight. we take this weapon and in spawns a beloved. And we start off with a bullet climax and we get the witch time and we swing the ball and chain against this soft spot that you maybe saw on the back. And we summon Gomorrah.
On some of the enemies of the game, they have a weak point where they take more damage, and the Beloved is on his back, so we try and hit the ball and chain weapon on his back to do more damage there.
And also although these axes are big, Bayonetta can wear it on her back, and we're going to use this later. We're collecting our first disc, which we can trade in at Rodin's for a weapon, and this disc is Three Marches Militaires, written by Franz Schubert. And we use this axe to enter this door, and Bayonetta has a flashback, and we are to meet Fortitudo. We shortly saw him in the intro, and by getting Witch Time we try to blast him with as many bullets as possible. Same with this beloved that climbs the wall and grabs the bridge. We are going to completely deplete his HP as soon as possible. We're gonna take a swing and we're gonna jump over it, and he's gonna grab the wall, the bridge, and yeah, we go to Mayhem with the bullet climax on him. And when the HP is depleted, he's gonna throw us away for a quick time event. Continuing forward through the door, he spawns again, and now he's used the axe time. We swing the axe and hit him here, and his HP is completely depleted. We summon Gomorrah to finish this one off for good.
Usually for that segment, the Beloved will climb up the bridge and you burst him on the platform where Bayonetta is in this animation. But because the axe does so much damage, you can kill him before he gets up. Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, he usually tries to crawl up to the platform where you usually fight him.
You've been naughty.
And now we're gonna play Angel Attack, and we are going to try to get at least 90 points to buy 3 flutes, and the flutes cannot be bought or made. And the flutes deal an AoE attack, which is useful in some areas. And for this part you can use the keyboard and mouse, basically the mouse. When you play the PC version, you're not obliged to just use the controller. You can mix them both.
Yeah, I'm better at aiming with a mouse than controller, so I use the mouse.
Yeah, it's a preference, personal preference. So we start up in chapter 2 now, and we're gonna have another flashback. Bayonetta is gonna remember that she can actually walk on walls, and with a technique called Witch Walk. And to demonstrate this, we get to fight with the now not so friendly Jean. There are a few ways to deal with her, but no consistent way. And the game decides if this is a 15-second fight or a 50-second fight. But we try our best with a punch-punch, kick-kick combination.
Yeah, she's being very dodgy.
Yeah, she can move around, and you just want to keep an eye on her all the time. And as you can see, she can dodge off your bullets annoyingly.
Yeah.
And with the Witch Walk, we can pass by these decorations that spawn in and continue towards the door down here. And by activating this statue here, we will get a prompt, and when activated, it fires a beam, and when you dodge it, you get Witch Time, and you can open the door. And the door cannot be opened without Witch Time. Coming up is a fight where the first part is to quickly kill the angels and the larger one called Applaud. The applaud in red here will drop his bow, which we will use for the next part. When we have witch time, we do a fair amount of damage. So we're gonna look for the other red one, torture attack him, and we're gonna use the bow that we got from the first one to kill off the remainders. I'm gonna take the second bow and I'm gonna fire one or two against this beloved. I used the first flute here to kill off most of the angels. One remainder spawns in, so we take him out. I'm gonna save this bow and use it for the next upcoming fight. And now we're going to meet a Wii-like enemy called Enchant. Using the arrows left, we can take them out in 3 hits, and we can easily continue on. To the next square, we meet another fight, and we're gonna use a flute to get rid of all the enchants that spawned in. Use a combination on this beloved, and he is gonna call out for his brother, or cousin or friend, we don't really know. So now we have 2 beloveds to deal with, and we're gonna start off with 3 quick punches by holding the last, get the witch time on the swing here, take off the first one, we're gonna take his axe, and we're gonna go for the red spot. Nicely done. Activating the climax to summon Gomorrah and end this one out. We are now rewarded with our second weapon, the Shuraba, presented by Beethoven Sonata number 14, also known as Moonlight Sonata. After killing these 2 applauds, we take one of their staff. We torture attack the first one and go into punch kick punch the second one. And as you see, the bridge has the same thing that we're gonna need to activate the statue, but we're gonna skip this with the air dodge technique that we bought. So up until the pond skip, this was basically the first skip of the game. Now we're gonna meet 42 though. Using the staff, we're gonna pole dance him, doing AoE damage, and we're gonna end up with the bullet climaxing. So up until chapter 6, there's a lot of mashings in this game. Eventually, he will throw us away for a quick time event.
Would now be a good time for a quick donation?
No, not really. We're gonna start up the chapter 3 here, and we're gonna go into the store before chapter 3 to buy some stuff that I really want to get in the script. So we're gonna ignore this angel attack. I'm gonna change our bullets for halos. We're gonna enter the gates of hell to exchange our classical music for weapons, the Shuraba and the Onyx Roses. Going to buy the techniques called Stiletto and Afterburner Kick. We're also going to buy 2 yellow lollipops. And the yellow lollipops gives you invincibility for about 15 seconds. And at the start of this chapter 3, we're going to equip our new weapons. And we're gonna put the lollipop in a quick slot. And we're going to initiate some fight with the burning angels. And we're gonna charge up our sword to take them out in one hit. Because we can't hit them normally, because they will just stagger us. So we charge up our sword and we can take them out. And we're gonna count to 8 angels. And after 8 angels, we're gonna activate our final flute to kill off the remaining ones. And with the stiletto technique and the Shurabound hand, we can use this forward attack to move a little bit faster and also consistent. And we are presented with a new enemy called Fairness, a dog-like enemy that can be atrocious sometimes. And we focus on dodging and get witch time to get close up and do damage with the Onyx Roses and get a Wicked Weave in or two. After this chapter, after this part, we activate the Yellow Lollipop to get past a door of lava that we see over here. And you see some statues there. Usually you're meant to activate the statue and get wish time and use that to get by the lava floor door. But with the Yellow Lollipop, we are invincible and we can just simply pass through it.
You're meant to go across the buildings here, but because we have the air dodge technique, instead we can fly through the middle and it's a bit faster that way. Skip a few animations that way too, so that's good.
Yeah, like in the previous chapter, yeah. I'm gonna jump over this book here because we don't want to read some lore. And we get to fight with 2 other Fairnesses. And we approached one of them to get him to jump on us, as you saw, get him the witch time and do damage. Then we try to lure the other one to jump us. And sort of clumping them together. So you can do damage on them both at the same time. They were nice enough not to stagger you, at least.
Okay, so this will be a good little cinematic for any donations that like to be read. You can do some now.
Yeah, we can do a quick one.
Oh, sorry, was that me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do a quick one.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that. We have $25 from Rotten Johnny. Get it, Gala.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, after this cutscene comes one easy but still difficult skip. And we call it the lava skip or the underground skip. Just gonna get past these angels because there's no border stopping us from moving on. And as you see on the left platform there, we're going to line up and we swap the weapons, and we're gonna do one afterburner kick followed by stiletto. And now we have the Onyx Roses on the hands and not the stiletto, and we can actually, we're aiming for that middle platform there. You see 3 platforms and you have to go for the middle one. Nicely done, Gala. If you hit the lower platform there, you're gonna reset. You're basically gonna fall into the lava.
Yeah, it's still a part of the death plane, so can't go on that smaller platform as a safety. Have to make it to the...
So I haven't timed this, but I imagine you skipped like 5 minutes or something from the chapter.
Yeah, because that skips the bridge segment and going into a portal to reverse time and all this stuff that happens, but instead you can do that for the speedrun. It's very good.
And you see, we are in Italy since there's a Colosseum. So up next is chapter 4, and it's gonna be our first real boss encounter. Because that's what you do in the Colosseum. And we're going to meet no other than Fortitudo. So let's get ready to rumble, everyone. We start off with that punch kick punch and hope he tries to bite us, which he did. And we get Witch Time, Bullet Climax, and get his HP down. So here on the ground we continue with the Bullet Climax. And the HP is alright. He's gonna fly away. He's gonna shoot fire at us. Just gonna break the floor and some quick time events. We're gonna jump up to him. We're gonna suplex him. This game has everything. I'm gonna throw him around 3 times. And you might see that Gala is actually pressing the controller button and the keyboard button at the same time. So, and we're gonna stand in that position here. He is going to try to bite us, and we evade it, get Witch Time, and we're gonna Bullet Climax him. We're gonna switch weapons and knock him over with a PKP, and we're gonna do Bullet Climax again to get his HP down almost to the bottom. Yeah, I think we're good here.
Yeah.
He's gonna fly off again.
So the reason why we get Witch Time when his head lowers is because he breathes fire, and you can dodge to get the slowdown of Witch Time. And the reason why we do that is because if you don't do damage to him and trip him over, there's this segment where there's all this fire on the floor and it's very slow. So that way we can get to the next part of the fight as soon as possible.
So with the 2 heads snapped off, he's going to fly away, and we're going to follow him. And here comes some RNG things. He has a set of movements that he can do, and this one is actually quite okay. We want him to stay close so we can use the stiletto, we can use the Shuriba and hit him. With the climax attack, we throw him away. Bayonetta is going to summon a demon, which is not Gomorrah this time. We're going to summon Malphas, a bird-like demon who hasn't been eating for a while. He's gonna take a big chunk of Fortitudo. And we're done. And we actually have some time to take a quick donation up until the next chapter.
All right, and this time I'm ready for you. We have we have $25 from Ghidorah's Fury. Fly me to the moon. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And let me... Yeah, totally forgot about the rest now. Anyway, chapter 5 up next. And it's probably the most hateful chapter, because it... when you get good at this run, it can ruin the run for you. We're going to meet the most lovely, ferocious enemies here. And we're gonna do some amazing skips. We have a 30-second quick kill that is a big deal. But first up, we're going to meet some fast-paced enemies called Grace and Glory. And we are going to focus on the red one. Mainly throughout the whole round, because as seen previous, they drop a weapon and the red claws do amount of damage that we're going to use in upcoming fights. And we're gonna get the first disc part for our third weapon at start. Mozart's Piano Sonata for 2 pianos. Ignoring these angels since there's no barrier, we're gonna meet our famous dogs again, but this time one is blue, one is red. Fearless and Fairness. Activating our claws to kill the red one first as it spawns in, and we're gonna whack the remaining one, getting a witch time and doing damage close up. He drops a bullet, which we're gonna use later. In this chapter, we're gonna use play Angel Attack again, acquiring some flutes again. Rotating this portal turns day into night, and we activate a portal that can make us fly through the air. And to get by faster, we use 4 dodges, because you can quietly see the background is moving a little bit faster if we do 4 dodges. And we're gonna meet Grace and Glory again. And we're gonna go for the red one first as again.
He's very dodgy.
Yeah, he behaves like John at the moment.
Yeah.
And here's a new enemy called Harmony. And we're gonna go up to this position here, and they will follow us. We're gonna charge up our sword. To get them killed. You can actually get them in one go. But that's why we are lining up at that spot.
Yeah. Also, a reason why we go to that spot is because they will all teleport together there when Bayonetta stands there.
Now we're gonna meet 2 hefty animals called Ardos. We're gonna knock down one of them and activate our claws. You can get them in one go, but this way is okay as well, because if you get them in one go with the claws, there's gonna be a larger break
There's a
in the cutscene, longer animation. But if you end them with the Onyx Roses, you can...
Yeah, one thing with the way that enemies die is if they die with a sword or with that consumable weapon, their animation of dying is slower. So it's actually faster to kill one off with the bullets. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna activate the statue over here, and the Grace and Glory are back. Although we're in a trapped room at the moment, they can't jump around so much. That's beneficial for us. We're doing the same combination as usual. We're gonna trip. As you see, we trip them over, because when they're on their back, they can't do damage on us. So that's the best way. So up next is the 30-second time save that I was mentioning in the beginning. So I'm gonna take the final disc part for the weapon here, and gonna hold our thumbs. We're gonna jump up this pathway over here, and with the stiletto movement we are going to go as fast as possible. Before the Inspired behind us turns around, and we're quickly gonna swap the weapons and take out this Inspired, and we're gonna activate our claws. And sadly, we didn't get the quick kill. I mean, this is what we practice a lot during the run. When you get good at the run, this is what we practice. And if you are fast enough, the Inspired that you saw in the background is still visible on the screen, then this Inspired, for some reason, dies when his HP is depleted. But now we got the climax, and yeah. So anyway, continuing on, we're going into Rodin's, exchange the disc parts for the OP Durga weapons, which we are going to put on our feet later on. See, and the Durgas are overpowered since we can plant bombs with them, and the bombs do a real nice amount of damage. And since we can chain the combinations together, we can put multiple bombs in one spot. And we're going to see it up next. And we're going to meet John again. And we're gonna activate a yellow lollipop, and we're gonna use a combination to charge up the bombs, knocking her over. And as you see, we hold the button just to charge up a bomb, and you see the amount of damage that it does. And with the yellow lollipop activated, we are invincible. And now we get our fastest form of movement, and that's the Panther form. So no more stiletto for now. And as said, we are going to play Angel Attack again. Again, we are going for 90 points to get the free flutes. And as you see, we try to go for the headshot, because then they'll die with one bullet. And in this Angel Attack, it's actually a bit easier to get free magic flutes, because we have a few more bullets here. And up next, chapter 6, we're gonna enter the shop again to get the final techniques that we need, which we are seeing here: the Bat Within and the Crow Within. And we're also gonna stock up on some items: a big yellow lollipop and a few yellow moon lollipops. The big one gives you about 1 minute of invincibility. And we're gonna use the Crow Within, that gives us a bird form. We can use for hang time. The Bat Within gives us wish time if we are about to take damage, and we dodge in the same time. And here you see the Durga bombs in action again, maybe a bit better. And we try to go for the big one, because the smaller angels will try to go up for us. And we're gonna see a skip here. So usually you activate the statues and initiate the fight, but with the AB kicks and the crow form, we can grab this wall and use an AB kick to just get up the platform there and move on. So the bombs you see there, really useful. And going to meet our lovely Grace and Gloria again here. But now they're much easier since we have the Durga bombs.
I don't know if I'd say easier, but they're a lot more. It's a lot more efficient to get rid of them.
Yeah.
With the explosives. They're still pretty pesky.
At least you're not firing bullets at them, so they're not jumping around and everything. So you see, we did take the red claws and use them for the second spawn of Grace and Glory. And here's, you see, in the purple orb over there, if you have played this game, you know it's the little Cereza. We are trying to protect her. In this part, we mainly just put up some bombs and hope that the angels ran into them. Switching sides over and over, and until the final one spawns in. And
I
just gonna
specifically
say
hang
that
out here because, yeah, they clump up together here because they run after you.
hang around, we're going to see as Cereza skip here. We're gonna focus the camera on the little Cereza and keep her in that angle and trying to move on. By keeping her in the camera, she falls behind for the beloved here, and we can just run away from her. Usually there's a wall that stops us from moving on, and Cereza has to move that wall. But doing this, the wall is not basically there, and we can just move on. So it's a quite new one. And shout out for Hellblazer Hawk for discovering how to do this. We saw it like many years ago, but we never knew how to replicate this. So I bet there's more to find in this game when you think of speedrunning. And we're going to meet the beloved here again. He, for some reason, has an affection for Cereza. And we have to take Cereza back, and we're doing that by putting bombs on his soft spot on the back. So we summon Gomorrah to take back Cereza and simply get rid of him. There's a sad moment here. After this award, there's a little bit a small cutscene that we sadly can't skip, but yeah. She has a halo, and this is not Bayonetta. There's an imposter among us. So we activate the Panther form to hunt her down. We're going to, as you saw, use the yellow lollipop not take damage from the rays. We're gonna fight off this imposter, and we get to learn that there's an enemy called Joy, a humanoid type enemy, and she possesses the ability to replicate herself. So we really need to take out her quickly. We trip her over, and we're gonna put some bombs. And yeah, that's about it for chapter 6, everyone. We can take a quick donation here.
We have $20 from Bayonetta 3 News, please.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Bayonetta 3. Chapter 7, we're gonna do a boss fight, and we're going to meet Temperencia. We saw him briefly in chapter 5 before we fought John, and we're going to face him now. And with the technique called Durga Glitch, you can do some amount of damage, and by starting a quick sequence with the Durga Claws on the feet, but right before the kick starts, we swap the weapons for the Onyx Roses, which results in a rapid amount of shotgun shots. And by doing that, he eventually stagger and punch us. We're gonna jump up his arm, use the Shuraba to hit his soft spot, and activate a climax. Demon for this climax is no other than Hecaton Chair. If that was difficult to pronounce, you can just say Hecaton of Chairs. So he's gonna grab the platform here. We're gonna do the same thing again. 4 punches, and we start a quick kick sequence. As you see, we swap the weapons. And he's gonna punch us. We're gonna dodge it. And we go up for his soft spot. Doing the same thing again. With his both arms removed, we need to take out 3 other soft spots to break Temperencia down some more. With the soft spots gone, the shield for his face is removed, and we are going to activate a yellow lollipop so he can't do damage to us, and we're gonna go on with the kick sequence in the Durgas with the swap upon his roses, and we're gonna end up with some upward slashes. And we're summoning Hecaton Share again. And with this lovely scene, we can actually take donations.
All right, we have $20 from Cristo. You know what, Gala? You're just a really good runner, and I hope you're having fun.
Next up, Chapter 8, Route 666. This chapter probably includes the most exciting skip of the game. So, stay focused now. I'm gonna try to help you. You can't miss it, but I'll walk you through it. But we start out with punching these larger ones. Getting wish time, punch them off. And we're gonna activate a flute to kill off the 3 angels here, and with the Durgas we can take out these 2 and hope that the larger angels die from the street, which they did. You see the HP bar there disappear. And in this fight we're gonna activate the big yellow lollipop that protects us from the moving vehicles, so we can kill off this joy that just spawned in. And we get them to kick us, so we can get wish time and kill them off with the bombs. If they don't give you the business, we can just move on and try to trip them over. But getting the wish time is the most efficient. And now we get to see the only enemy that properly gets an introduction. And this one is called Irenic. But we're not gonna see him, so hold on. The big skip is coming in. And we're gonna land our motorcycle, and we're gonna enter the menu, activate 1 flute, turn around and cross the finish line, skipping a whole lot of this chapter. So when she activates the flute, she stands up, and when she stands up, we can activate the Panther form to turn around and basically cross the finish line. And since we are still invincible from the big yellow lollipop, these upcoming beloveds are no matter for us. So we're gonna finish them off with some Durga bombs. And that's chapter 8 for you. So we can actually sneak some donations here.
All right, we have a $15 donation from Kraid. Galagang Galagang, making a tax-deductible shout-out. Gala brings that thunder from down under. Clap those world records. Let's go!
Thanks, Crane. Crane's a good friend.
We have a $5 donation from Desi. Hey Gala, glad to see you at GDQ showing everyone how much butt you kick in Bayo. Good luck on the run. Yeehaw!
Thank you.
Now I want to welcome everyone to Paradise. So we're going to start off this chapter by getting a disc part for our final weapon. And this time it's a piece written by Handel, titled Messiah, or Valkyrian Rite. In the middle here there's a fight that we're going to skip, and we're going to do so by climbing up this wall. Enter the bird form and reach the globe over here. There's gonna be some enemies that spawn in, and we're gonna focus on the big one because he has a keyblade. Or just a big key if you're a Zelda fan. And in the statue here we can just ignore the other angels because they'll die when we put the key in. We're gonna summon a pathway, but we can use 2 AB kicks to get up on this platform. And we're gonna see some Indiana Jones type of thing here. Where the golem, the boss here, is following us. But with some AB kicks we can reach over an invisible wall and fall down to the bottom. So we don't have to run through everything here.
The afterburner kick technique is used a lot for the skips in Bayonetta because that technique gives her a lot of height, so it's very useful for getting over walls and things like that.
Yeah. So I bet there's much more to find about this game. We're gonna do a square fight. We need to collect parts for a key. And we get to meet the golem here who tries to smash us again. And we're going to meet our lovely Grace and Glory. We focus on the red one first because of his claws.
It's teleporting.
And with the claws we're going for the final chest, opening up, which spawns a dog. And with the claws, it's no bigger. But we actually don't need the key. We just need to do everything to remove this barrier. Moving on, we're going to meet some annoying enemies called kinships. I'm gonna kill them off with some bombs and jump on the second one. And actually it's the jumping part that is, at least for me, is very annoying because I tend to just not land on them. Second part of the disc, we move on to a part with some tentacles. Usually you're supposed to just fall down here, but this is a speed run, so we rotate our left stick and press kick to make a spin with the Durga claws to gain some speed. At the bottom here, we're gonna meet some joys. They're gonna spawn in, but since there are no barriers stopping us, we can just move on. I'm gonna traverse this path against our third and final disc part. And we're going to move swiftly, jump some platforms without getting hit by the golem here. It's a little bit risky, but if you gotta go fast, you gotta take the shot.
Yeah. That's the platform then.
You took the shot. But yeah, if he hits you, you either get staggered or you get like a Paper Mario smashed Bayonetta thingy.
Yeah, the gravity there is also really weird when
Yeah.
running across those platforms.
Moving on to the end of the chapter, we're gonna face off Golem. We can go into several forms, and we try to get Wiz time to bomb his soft spot. As you might wonder, we do not use the climax attack here, because the animation of the demon killing him is actually slower than just killing him twice. Although if you play this on your first time, I hardly suggest you actually use the climax, because the animation is actually quite funny. So we can sneak in 1 or 2 donations. Here.
All right. We have $10 from Joy K. Is this Gala? The Gala? Action game speedrun aficionado Gala? Hype! Also, thank you GDQ and all other runners for your hard work.
We are still in Paradise, and we're gonna start off chapter 3. In the start, we're going to meet 3 Joys. Getting them to attack us, we get wish time, and we're gonna put down some bombs. And we can trip them over, and yeah, that was a really short fight. But as you've seen, they can avoid us and be annoying. We land in this we landed this spot here, and we're gonna use a flute, and we actually got 3 cogs at the same time, which is good. Then we can run up for the 4th one. Ignoring the enemies, we're gonna rotate this island to make the path opens for up. We're gonna see a quick fight, shortest one in the game perhaps. 3 harmonies spawn in, and we just bomb them. After this, Fortitudo comes and say hello. And we get wish time, and we can do a kick sequence, and we can take him out very quickly. Fortitudo spawns in, and this is the RNG type of area that can slow your run down. He can do a set of attacks. Luckily he did what we wanted. He threw a punch at us, which results in getting his face to the platform. God, you're going so fast, I can't mention everything. Anyway, moving on to a rotating platform. We wait a few seconds, open up this door, and we see this green part here. We can move on, and there's some kinships spawning in, but we don't have to deal with them. There's a chest over there that we can take. Up next, probably for new players, most difficult fight, Gracious and Glorious. They are golden enemies, and by that you don't get wish time if you dodge them, which makes the fight a lot more difficult. But we swipe their legs, get them on their back, and use the bombs to get them by quickly. And after these spikes here, there's a skip coming up, similar to the one in previous chapter. We're gonna wall jump this platform here. You see in the floor there's a square type of thingy, which actually when you play this the first time, you're gonna activate the statues, and there's some fights going on. And yeah, you're doing good, Gala. RNG manipulation. And by getting up here, we can use the crow form to simply jump over everything, moving to the end platform here, and totally just finishing off this chapter. We can do a few donations.
We have $50 from Tatsu Ukigi. 300,000 hype! Bayonetta doing all these moves and heals must be the real torture attack. Good luck to Gallus Rini. We have $250 from Mad One. Good luck, Gala. You know what? You'll crush this run.
So, chapter 11, this is another boss fight, but first we start off with a small fight with some angels. And we go for the larger one because, as said, the other angels will follow us. And we're gonna place some bombs and just bomb them to the smithereens. The boss in hand is a new one we haven't seen yet. Justitia, or as I call him, Long Tongue Boss. And we only use the Shuraba in this fight. We try to stay head to the face and just do upward slashes. As you saw, after a bit of damage, Justitia falls down, and we can use the tongue as a bridge to reach the face, give him a whack at the nose, and do some upward slashes. Then we get to see some Karate Kid 2 reference to the ice-breaking scene. Or at least that's what I think when I see this. When we regain control of Bayo, we immediately jump down off the platform to trigger a quick time event to start the next part. Normally in this fight, you jump around the platforms and Justitia will break them off for you, and eventually you will fall down. So we spare him, and we spare him the time, and we jump down immediately. Moving on with the upward slashes, Sapienza will throw a rock at us, and we climax it and throw it back. And we're gonna traverse the tongue, move up to the face. Give him a whack at the nose. And upward slashes. Karate Kid 2 reference. And we jump off again. Doing this for the third time. Upward slashes, some rocks will fall down. He will crush our platform. And we continue with the upward slashes. Again, throwing a rock at us. We climax it, send it back. But this is the second time, so we have to do another rock. The head falls down, and we traverse it and go to the face. Whack at the nose. And use the upward slashes. Again, the Karate Kid reference, cutting the tongue off. And he's going in for the final headbutt. We climax, attack him, and we summon a demon. Infernal demon for this boss is called Scolopendra, a centipede-like demon.
Hug of death.
Hug of death, yeah. Bam. Anyways, up next, chapter 12. Both 11 and 12 go by quite quickly. But in chapter 12, we are going to meet John again. And we are also going to show up pretty nice skip. So I'll try to explain everything, but just hang tight. We start up the chapter by picking up a flute in the beginning and swiftly progress to the door in the end. John is trying to do some wicked weaves on us, and there are some angels spawning in, but we can ignore them. Jump the containers up to the airplane and face off Grace and Glory again. And as usual, we bomb them. And we're going for the red one first, because we're going to use his claws as usual. charging up our claws. We try to get at least 2 of these angels in one go. But sometimes they separate themselves, so I mean, they go by quite quickly anyway. But yeah, anyway, next up we're gonna skip. We're gonna jump up to this wing over here. Usually you're supposed to progress through a door, but we take another route. And usually in this game you're supposed to fight John in the left wing here, and we initiate the fight with John over here, but then we continue right, and we're going to go to the path that we are supposed to take. John will follow us, and we take the witch time, and we smack her down from the airplane. For some reason she can't recover, so the HP bar totally just disappears. We continue through the door as we're supposed to do, and John is already dead. So that was John number 3.
Yeah, so what we essentially do there is, we go out of bounds and we bring her out of her boss fight arena, and then we kick her off the plane and she dies, and then you go back in the fight and she's already dead. So
yeah.
It's a bit...
It goes by quite quickly, so yeah. Anyway, we do a protect the Cereza part again, and we put her down in the beginning, and if we are fast enough, the electric water won't reach to her until we have killed these 3 spawns of enemies. We move on, Cereza will hang on. We will put Cereza down over here, and remember we took a flute, so the harmony is here. We will use the flute, and sadly we missed one, but we take him out normally and we move on to the end of the chapter. So yeah, chapter 11, chapter 12 go by quite quickly. Unless Jones give you some business. She can do that. And in chapter 13 here, there's a boss fight again. It's quite easy boss, but if he decides to be mean against us, he can do some stuff that can eat about 10-20 seconds of your run. So anyway, we're gonna use the sword only, and we're going to kill off these faces he has on his legs, and after we have taken out 2 of them, he's going to dive down, which is scripted, so not much about that. And when he re-emerges, we take out the other 2 with some sword weaves, and we are greeted with a climax attack. Again, we're only going to use the Shuraba sword. And we spawn in a demon called Phantasmaranae. And Sapieta doesn't like Phantasmaranae, so he tries to get away from us. We jump his back and we steer him into Phantasmaranae's mouth. Phantasmaranae breaks off his face shield, which opens up the face for us, and we can do some upward slashes until he jumps away and dives down. And here's when you can get a time loss. He will re-emerge, and we will attack his face again, and we will try to get him in one cycle. Nicely done there. So if you don't take him out quickly, he can jump away and do a dive, and that's just plain time loss. Again, we steer him into Phantasmaranae. And Phantasmarene breaks off his wings, and Sapientia flees down into the ground. Dives into the water. Anyway, we regain control of Bayonetta. We do a punch-kick-punch with the sword. And when he blows us away, we activate the yellow lollipop to stay invincible. And we kill him off with the Shuraba weaves.
The thing about the sword weaves is because they can hit enemies at such a great distance, so even when Sapientia pushes us away, the sword weaves can still reach him, even from back there. So that's really good tactic for the speedrun, because otherwise you have to run towards him and get close to him to do damage, but with the sword you don't have to do that, so you can still do damage to him even when far away. So that's very good.
Greeted by Phantasmarenes and her spiderlings, they risk Sapientia apart. The boss is done, and he was nice enough to not make us lose some time. Gonna talk a bit about next chapter. It's gonna be, except for the final chapter, this is the longest chapter of them all. And we're going to enter Isla del Sol. But first, we are going to go into the gates of hell for the last time. So we want to say thank you, Rodin, for your services. We trade our Hendel piece for the Lieutenant Kilgore weapon. We also call the accessory called Celine's Light, and we're gonna stock up some items. Bloody Rose lollipops gives us damage, yellow lollipops for invincibility, and mega lollipop for magic gauge. And we also got a red hot shot that will give us some health back if we are supposed to die. Anyway, for this shoot 'em up segment, I usually think about this chapter like for all you Nier Automata runners, this is similar to the Grun chapter, which cannot be skipped, and you just have to suffer through it. So with that in mind, I just want to bring in some donations.
All right, we have a $10 donation from Vanerick. Best of luck, Gala and Enthus. Huge shout out to the Bayonetta Speedrun Discord community. Save the frames, shoot the angels, and remember, the real torture attack is playing Bayo on PS3. Please, Kamiya, finish Bayo.
Yeah, the PlayStation 3 version of this game is not very optimized.
Yeah, it's
very, yeah.
I tried this. The route that we see here, I tried it on the PlayStation 3, and yeah, it was torture. Can we bring in some more donations?
Yep.
Yeah, this is
we
quite
have
a big
$25.
Oh yeah, we're up here. Wait a second. I'm gonna just use some magic missiles for this inspired here, and it's a small boss fight, but he has a HP bar that you have to deplete. Anyway, more donations.
All right, $25 from Hajino Karai. Sometimes GDQ brings out the devil in me. We have $20 from Red Fraggle. Can't wait to see Bayonetta kick some butt before bedtime. Let's go. We have $50 from RZR360. Gala, I don't jest. Gala is the best. Crushing angels with her heel, spinning kicks make me real. Bayonetta super fast, saves Cereza in the past. Bayo wrestler extraordinaire, throwing Fortudo through the air. Smashes Taprantia with her hair, lops off Lustia in its lair. Sapientia in the web, putting Baldur into bed. Go Gala! Gala gang represent.
That was amazing.
Wow, that was good.
can do a quick one.
We have $25 from Cyberwolf1201. Bayonetta is a game very close to my heart. Glad to see it being run this SGDQ. Thanks to everyone involved with putting on this event.
Yeah.
Hype!
In spawns a 42 though, you can't really see him, but before this we activated a red lollipop for damage, and we just go to mayhem with him with our missiles and bullet mashing. So you take him out very quickly, and you don't really need to care about taking damage, because the bosses here will drop a green health item that brings you up to health again. So don't worry about taking damage, just mash the buttons.
Yeah, for
And
this
for
segment,
these-
when mashing, you can shoot from 2 different buttons, so I'm alternating between 2 buttons to shoot a lot of shots. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a dedicated shoot button, and you can shoot with the punch button as well. So basically we are mashing 2 buttons simultaneously. Anyway, we can do some more donation reading.
All right, we have $30 from the Battle Professor. While new to Games Done Quick, we happily take a break from the rest of the world to observe the most amazing of speedrunners come together for a great cause. We want to thank the crew, volunteers, and the runners. From Alice and Andrea. We have $25 from Ken H. Bayonetta got me back into video games way back when it was first released, and it remains one of my favorite games of all time. Had to donate during its return to the GDQ stage. We have $25 from Cosmic. Gala's entire aesthetic is A+. Bayonetta would be jealous.
Thanks, Cosmic.
Can do some more.
We have a $500 donation from Air Hadoken.
Ooh.
As Monday draws to a close, I want to give a special shout out to my brother on his birthday, as he's endured so much over the last few years and things are finally looking up. Money goes toward that insane blindfolded Battletoad stage.
Nice. Just gonna stop you there. You hear the music change now, so the final boss is up. And for this one, we are going to activate a red and yellow lollipop. It's Temperencia, who is back again. We activate the red one, and we try to mash bullets against his face, and we activate the yellow one to protect us from this decoration, sending green bullets against us. And when he opens up his arms, we send the bullets in, missiles in, and he is done. So, gonna talk now for the next part, because we are going to face we're gonna face John again. We're gonna activate the Selene's light, and we're going to activate the purple lollipop. And we want John to hit us, because now this time we dodged and we got Witch Time, but as you saw there, when we have Magic Gauge and when we have Selene's light on, any damage taken will result in a Witch Time, and Witch Time slows down the time and makes us opens up for us to do a combination, which I hope we can see soon. In this Witch Walk area, we do the 2 kicks just to place 2 bombs, just to stop John from spawning in some missiles. And we're gonna follow her, and we try to lure her into entering a beast form and slash us, but sadly she doesn't. Yeah, there we go. She got into beast form and hit us with a sword, and we got into witch time, and we did the same Durga glitch, but with the Lieutenant Kilgore on our feet instead. Lieutenant Kilgore is a missile rocket launcher weapon that sends off missiles at very slow pace, but with the Durga glitch we can send off a lot of missiles with the speed of the Durgas. But since Jean being Jean, she can...
Yeah, she's not being nice.
Nah, she's not being nice at the moment. But you're doing good, Gala. You're not dying. Just... It's just gonna take a little bit longer, but we'll persevere.
Just looking on the right.
Just stay calm. Yeah, sword slash and four punches, the kick, and the large amount of missiles. And eventually, she's gone. So, when you're a runner and you want to practice this Jean fight, you have to go through the whole rocket sequence in the beginning. So we're now gonna enter the final chapter of all the chapters, Tower to Truth. But it's not the end here. And the Tower to Truth is going to be a little bit repetitive, since we're going to meet... It's basically a boss rush chapter. We start up the bullet climax and some fiery ardors. We're gonna play some bombs and blast them off. And for a while, that's our strategy. So we can squeeze a few donations here.
All right, we have $50 from Tochkli. Bayonetta is one of my favorite games, and Gala is kicking it. $50 of gratitude for this amazing time. We have $20 from Slipped Disco. It's 5 a.m. over here in the UK, but I had to set an alarm to see my favorite game of all time being run. Thank you for bringing Bayonetta to GDQ, and a massive congrats to everyone hitting the 300k total. Just smashing, darlings.
The voice actor for Bayonetta, Helena Taylor, is actually British. Sadly, we don't get to get to hear some of the voice lines that she has, but that's a small tidbit about this game, that it's actually meant to play it in, even though it's a Japanese game, it's meant to play it in with English voice. Which also makes sense. This game is set in Europe. The Japanese voice were added later on. I think it was added into the PlayStation 4 release with the Vanquish, but don't quote me on that. Again, you see Grace and Glory, we saw them, we took his red claws, we're gonna save them up. Temperencia says hello, and gonna take him out again with this weapon over here. And we're gonna try to focus on hitting his face, staggering him, and just keep the bullets coming. He will eventually destroy this machine gun for us, and we have to take another one. And by doing that, we will activate a small yellow lollipop to protect us from the homing missiles that he sends for us. And again, try to hit him in the face so he won't blast us as he did there. But eventually, he's done for good. So no more seeing Temperantia again, and we move on and going to evade a falling elevator here. And continuing ascending the tower, we are going to meet the long tongue boss again, and we're going to activate a yellow lollipop and the red claws that will take him out very quickly. The yellow lollipop will make us invincible for any attacks that he do. So we can use the claws and not break that combination. We're gonna use the swords. I'm gonna use the Karate Kid reference. And Justitia are done for good. Continuing ascending the tower. I'm gonna use the AB kicks to get up this platform over here. Saves a little bit seconds. And normally you're supposed to rotate that pole there to make some platforms show up. But with the Panther form and with the Crow form, we can reach this part, which actually initiates the fight with the Golem. And this Golem can be tricky because he has a new form, Centipede form, which is very annoying, but in general it's the same as in previous chapter. We get Wish Time, open up the red spot, and we don't do the climax attack. Just try to place the bomb so it explodes when the HP bar appears. And no more Golem. So we continue ascending the tower. And yeah, the end of the chapter, finally over. No, we forgot about Temperantia. Bear with me. A technique that Bayo has from the beginning is called dodge offset. That means that you can chain combos while dodging, while holding the last input and dodge at the same time. And we do that here with we place the bomb and go into Panther form and put out the second bomb. I'm gonna smash these 4 orbs, and the platform is going to take us to the absolute top. And we can squeeze in a donation or two here.
All right, we have an anonymous $250 donation, a $250 donation from Valthus, a $300 donation from Spiketail, and a $250 donation from Dane Famous 91. Thank you all so much for your generous donations.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's nice to hear about the donations. And next up is the Lumen Sage. And prior to this fight, there's probably the longest cutscene in the game. We are basically going to meet the mastermind of this all. And it also brings us the shortest boss fight of the game, if everything goes by as we want. And we're going to make use of Celine's Light and full magic gauge, and we're going to trick him into slash us. We get Wish Time, and we do 4 punches, 1 kick, and we swap the weapons for the Kilgore. And that's phase 1. And we're gonna summon Gomorrah to kill him off. But since all good things come in free, he seems to be stronger than Gomorrah, so he breaks Gomorrah's neck, and we have to start over. Again with the same thing, we use the bullets to trick him to attack us. We get the Wish Time, 4 punches, the kick sequence with the swapping weapons, and the Kilgores do a lot of damage to him. We bring in Scolopendra to do the Hug of Death. And if you observe his chest, you see that, yes, Cereza has been morphed into his body. I'm going to do the same thing again. The bullets to get him to attack us, the combination.
He can do other attacks like Stagger Bear, but there's just one type of attack that we want from him to get Witch Time activated.
Yeah.
He can also do a lot of other moves that are not nice. That's why he's a bit RNG.
Yeah. As you saw there, he did a 3 sword swipes, and at the final third swipe, you can get Witch Time by dodging. Anyway, in the end, Bayonetta shoots him off with a lipstick bullet, briefly telling him, don't mess with the witch. So, if he's giving you the right stuff, he's done in 2 minutes.
I should have been a pole dancer.
And now we are going to go for the last chapter of them all, the epilogue. So, Sean's back, and we are controlling her. And if you know the game, Bayonetta has been taken by the Lumen Sage, and John has come to her senses. And she remembers now that she's an Umbran Witch, and Bayonetta is actually her friend, so John is up to save her. We activate a big yellow lollipop that gives us 1 minute of invincibility, so we can simply just ignore any enemies, any attacks. Because if you get hit without yellow lollipop, it will stagger us. So for this part, until we reach the top of this all, we can actually enjoy some donations.
Reaching the top of something, you say? Well, I have a donation just for that. We have a $20 donation from Belloween. I'm going to give this one my best shot. I give this donation not for honor, but for suit. In this game, we'll wear nothing else. Glad it's the way he'll sneak through. Fate snake still in a tux, snake dapper. And that was, of course, a reference to our Tuxedo Snake incentive coming up for our Metal Gear Solid 3 run. If that incentive is met, the runner will do the run using the Tuxedo camo, which actually makes the game harder, which is awesome. That is a $20,000 incentive. We have raised $2,500 for it so far, so get your donations in for that incentive.
Alright, we reach the top and we are controlling Bayonetta again, and we are facing off the Jubileos. And she will preferably hit us with her hands, as we see here, because on the third time we can get Witch Time and just do upward slashes. Most of the time we are going to use the Shurabus on our hands only. And we get into this lava sequence, and we are going to kill off 4 hair strands until Jubileus gets staggered and one of the hair strands gets petrified. So we try to blast us, and we enter some sort of Witch Time, and we get to jump her. Continuing off with upward slashes to bring down the HP. She eventually rises up. And when she rises up, we are going to enter Elsa's frozen world. So now everything is in ice, and we're going to do the same thing as before. Knock down the hair strands. Try to evade the falling ice. And if you land on the ice, you will get staggered, and it can sort of kill you instantly if you get staggered multiple times. Same thing as before, we jump up to her face and get her knocked down. Upward slashes to bring down the HP, and we're going to enter the third part, which is the last one. But this one is a little bit breezier. It's the wind part, and the struggle here is to time the jump prompts. You want to jump the small platforms here, but you can only jump when there's a jump prompt. So if you try to go fast and jump when there's no prompt, you eventually jump up in the air, and when you jump up into the air, there's gravity that makes you just fall down slower. So, and also there's a beam that tries to hit you, you see there, and if you dodge that, you get witch time, and the witch time is bad here because it totally slows everything down. In the end, the hair strand is petrified, and some of the platforms are arranging. We jump up to her face and we slash her. She falls down, and we're going to enter the second part of the Jubileus phase. You can, with the rockets, you see there, try to get them to hit her face. There's one movement that Jubileus can do, which is pure time loss. I don't think we will see it. Again, the punches are the best. And it could be a wise thing to take out these phase missiles, because, yeah, they can be annoying. With these frisbees here, she transforms Cereza, Bayonetta into Cereza, and the good thing about this is that she ends up with the punches again, and we like the punches. And we get to the climax prompt, and we use our hair to make a pathway up to Jubileus' face. And by simply dodging these attacks, we reach the top, and we can do a climax. And with a sort of hug of death, we can keep her steady and take her out. And with her HP done, we can do the final climax attack of this run. And being in the final climax, it's a big one, and as you saw there, it's combining the powers of John and Bayonetta to summon the demon called Queen Sheba. And with a big bang bonus, we punch Jubileus so hard her soul leaves her body. And you think it's over here, but only the sun can kill Jubileus. So we direct her soul past the planets in our solar system. So it's very educational, this game.
This would be a good point to squeeze in a few donations too.
All right. We have $5 from Justinitis. Gala is incredible and impresses us every day. Real life Bayonetta. Gala Gang. We have an anonymous $75 donation. My mind is blown at this extremely precise Bayonetta run. We have $20 from Jess. Bayonetta hype! We have $20 from Graything. Thank you all for everything you do.
Alright, so Jubileus hits the sun. We are awarded, we see the award screen. And Jubileus gets fossilized by the sun, and for some reason she went into orbit towards planet Earth. So we need to break down her body into smaller pieces using upward slashes. And John is on the other side trying to help us the best as we can. But we're reaching the end, everyone. And yeah, that's that. The game is over. Get some lovely cuts in here that we sadly are skipping. But as any other Platinum games, you have to fight through the credits. And the time actually stops at the third and final fight ends. And I will shout it out when it's time. So, I don't know, Gala, I think it's time to thank the GDQ, the chat, our speedrunning community.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in learning the Bayonetta 1 or Bayonetta 2 speedruns, you can find our community Discord attached to either of the leaderboards on speedrun.com. Community is very friendly, and we love having people with us who are interested in just learning about the run and wanting to hang out with us. Bayo lovers, we're always happy to have more people with us.
Yeah,
So-
and actually we are investigating in some new strategies, so new things are coming up, but we believe that there's much more to break down in this run.
Yeah.
So everyone gets your grooving on and start dancing to this awesome music.
Yeah, this credit song is called Let's Dance Boys. That's the name of the song.
That's also the final line that Bayonetta says in that cutscene that we skipped.
Yeah. Very cool. For those who don't know, the last time that Bayonetta 1 was shown at a GDQ or SGDQ was about 10 years ago. So I'm pretty happy to get to show the run today. It's been a long time since we got the chance to show it. So thank you very much for having us. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, thanks.
A lot of
thanks
developments
again.
have happened since then, and there's still a lot to come for this run. This game is a lot of fun and a lot of tech. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So we have fought through 2 of the 3 fights in the end here. So the final fight is coming up, so be ready with time. I'm gonna kill off some small angels, and a large beloved is going to spawn in, and when he's done, the time stops. So everyone be ready, here's the final beloved, and time!
Time. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Anthes, for helping me with commentary. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for
that
running the
very
game with me.
much. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Very fun, very fun.
Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed this run and enjoy the next runs that will be coming up later in the schedule. Thank you very much.
All right. Awesome job, Gallus Rini, on that Bayonetta run. I've watched some Bayonetta myself, and that game is always a blast to watch, and watching as a speedrun is even more incredible on top of that. What an awesome run. We have $20 from Silver Inferno. Devil May Cry 5 and Bayo back-to-back makes for a very hyped night. Let's keep up the excitement, SGDQ. And of course, we have lots more games. We have more going on all week. In fact, we have the Penumbra trilogy coming up soon, as well as Faith and Gone Golfing. Continuing on our evening. And with that, we are now going to go to an interview with Spike Vegeta and Blood Thunder. Take it away.
And welcome back, everyone, to Summer Games Done Quick 2021. Hope you all have been enjoying all these awesome speedruns that we've been having here for the event. And coming up after this, we are not seeing not one, not two, but all 3 games in the Penumbra trilogy run by, what do you know, the other runner in the call right now, Blood Thunder. BT, how you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. How you doing, Spike?
Dude, I'm doing great.
Beautiful,
and I'm not gonna lie, man, your room's pretty lit. I'm just gonna throw that out there. The lighting and everything, really, really good. How do I have a room to look just as good as that?
You go out and you just buy a whole bunch of stuff off Amazon. You're like, it has RGB. Throw it back there. Throw up some posters so you cover that ugly wall, and you're good. You know, it's all about lighting.
God, I mean, I've just got like a bunch of random stuff thrown up, but like the lighting is just on point.
Tons of random stuff. None of it makes sense. That's why it's blurred out. You don't need to pay attention.
Love it, man. Love it. So I do want to talk to you a little bit. Obviously, you're about to run the Penumbra series, and I did hours of research this morning. I watched through all 3 runs. Quick watch. We're obviously about to go into it right after this run. And I just want to know, immediately, like 2 seconds into the runs, you're already clipping out of bounds. There's tech all over the place. What is your favorite aspect about running this series?
I mean, basically that, like, very broken games. There's only like 1 moment of downtime and a 45, 50-minute run. It's crazy. It's just constantly doing stuff. And you'll see throughout the Penumbra trilogy, like the strats evolve. They change, obviously, because the games are coming out years after each other. They patch stuff. They have new skips where old skips used to be. And it's just constantly like, you see the evolution as you run through it, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the fact that you are doing a trilogy run. And that's something tons of people I know have offered all sorts of, I'll do a bunch of Mega Mans, I'll do a bunch of Sonics. I know you've offered the BioShock trilogy in the past year for GDQ, but you are one of the first runners, along with Tomato Angus, in order to, who has actually successfully been able to get that into a GDQ. Just, I guess, how exciting is it for you that you get to run not just one, but the entire trilogy on screen today?
I mean, it's really cool. It's definitely become more of a thing throughout the speedrunning community. You know, you have like the 306 for Mario's, and people have picked it up for Resident Evil and tons of different series. And I got to showcase Penumbra Overture by itself a couple years ago, and it's fun to show that off, but it's just showing a very glimpse of the entire series that people may not be aware of. So showing off all 3 is a really, really cool experience. I've offered it. It's kind of a part of a larger anthology I've offered, the Frictional Games, which is including Amnesia and Soma. But that's gotten to be kind of too large for a GDQ spot, to be honest.
Sure.
So it's like just showing off part of it's really cool. And if people are interested, they can, you know, go and find the larger parts.
Yeah. Is there kind of another series that you would personally like to see? I mean, take all bias out of it, but you can be biased. Okay. That's fine. Is there any other series that you would like to see a full run of at a GDQ in the future? Whether run by you or someone else?
Just more of them in general, honestly, because there's ones that I would like to do, honestly, but the more you add games on top of each other, it just extends the time. And, you know, there is a competitive spirit in like getting games in. If it's going over 4 hours, you know, you're going to have a real tough time. But like personally, I want to do like Wolfenstein anthology stuff, which would be an entire day's worth of runs at that point.
Right.
It's like, just really anything. Anytime people do more and more and really challenge themselves beyond just a single run, which is already challenging in itself, is really cool to see.
Yeah. All right, the Wolfenstein series, super, super fun runs to watch. I think you do a great job. I'll give you an entire day on my schedule.
All right, I'll take it.
Worry. So I do want to talk a little bit also the fact that you are, and this almost comes off insulting, I think, to you. I consider myself a jack of all trades speedrunner. I know like 30, 40 games, but I know how to really solidly get like 33rd place on the leaderboard. Blood Thunder, you know how to run 20, 30 plus games, and you are at the top of many of them. For maybe someone who's wanting to get into speedrunning and kind of wants to explore that that kind of journey.
Mm.
And again, you say, oh, I want to get into a bunch of different games, but I also want to feel like I'm at the highest level for all of them. What is your speedrun process like, I guess?
I mean, you also have to remember it's like I'm up to like 50, 60 games now under my belt, but
Wow.
I've been speedrunning for close to a decade. So it's not like I just did this in last 3 years. It's literally I'm pulling runs from 2011, like when I used to run Portal. Like no one knows I ran Portal, but that's still a game that I can run and get a decent time in. But it's really once you start going over more than just a game or even a series, because a series can be very identical in terms of like the type of route and type of glitches. It's just learning the process of learning. Like you have to pick up on like, all right, what do I need to go into this game learning? Do I need to learn the tricks? Do I need to learn how to optimize the menus? You just have to establish what you need to learn and what you need to remember, and then you can just apply that across really any game. It's kind of like learning a language. You sit down and you learn French, and it might take you 5 years. But then after you learn French, you can apply those things to learning Spanish or English or whatever it might be. And it becomes easier and easier as you go, and you can notice similarities and differences and attach those things to each other.
Great words of wisdom right there from BT. Again, I just love the, kind of as you get into some runs that can help you with learning other runs down the line. Super cool stuff right there. Before I let you go and get ready for that Penumbra trilogy run, I just want to ask you, I've gotten to work with you on speedruns on podcasts in the past. You're just obviously generally a great community member who likes to help people out with like setups and everything. For you, the next step of your speedrun journey, I'll guess, do you know what that next step is post SGDQ? Any games or anything you want to work on?
It's just like continuing to evolve the challenges behind speedrunning, because learning a single game and like grinding at a great time can be a challenge in itself. But then you also see people doing challenge runs, like no hit runs, and then adding anthology runs on top of that. So like no hit through the entire series, which is crazy.
Oof.
Just doing more stuff like that, incorporating more of a challenge run aspect of things. So tackling Wolfenstein Anthology, the Doom Anthology, stuff like that. Just continuing to push the limits without necessarily just grinding a game faster and faster.
That's exciting. I know a lot of people, I feel like in the speedrunning community the last few years, and maybe a lot of it was born out of like the Soul series and whatnot, but more people are trying, let me try to no hit series that aren't necessarily known for that right now. That's cool to see speedrunners trying to apply themselves to all these other challenge runs. BT,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your journey through more speedrun grinding, through more no-hit challenges, and to watching you get to run the Penumbra entire trilogy coming up right now, guys. Send it back up to the front. BT, good luck, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I know I'm definitely hyped for that Penumbra trilogy run. But that is going to do it for my short time here at the hosting desk. We're going to be taking a quick break, and then we will be back with our next host and next run. I've been Musical Daredevil, and don't go away. We will be right back after these messages.
Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2021 Online. I am Nicole Goodnight, and I will be your host for the upcoming games. While we are waiting to get set up for our next round, let's go ahead and read some donations. I have $250 from Qdesi, who says, I'll never get sick of Bayonetta. Glad I could witness this again. Amazing job. Thank you